Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Hello once again, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching one of the latest episodes on Jonathan Clarke Video Blog's YouTube channel, just archived for you guys. I am so excited about Disney's Tron Ares being released coming up this Friday on October 10th. I will be attending it. I'm really excited about that. I forgot that Tron Ares was actually premiering this week, but it just came to my mind, and I thought I would share that with you guys. So Disney's got a big month in October. We've got the countdown to Halloween happening, the birthdays of Descendants stars Ruby Rose Turner and Freya Sky happening back-to-back, which I'm incredibly excited about. I will be here for every single moment of significance and of importance for Descendants fans, because I know how much these franchises mean to each and every one of you while I check out Tron Ares this week, coming up on Friday, October 10th. And I'm really excited about it. I'm always excited about conversations that have everything to do with your favorite Descendants stars. More recently, I've been profiling the cast of the past with Descendants. That includes Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, Cameron Boyce, Kenny Ortega conversations happening all the time, because I think never enough appreciation can be shown and can be given to your favorite stars of the past, because if not for those contributions, Descendants wouldn't be at the point it's at right now, a point where it's a global phenomenon and ready to take over at any given moment. Because I really do believe that if you can present a conversation and an argument about Miley Cyrus going down in history for being the youngest Disney legend of all time, so too can your favorite Descendants stars. And that's exactly what I'm here to try to perceive, is that they go down in history for being the greatest of all time. I'm here to ensure that, but I can't do it without your guys' help. Because you guys were the ones that made this YouTube channel happen. You're the ones who made this YouTube channel a profound success, because you subscribed to this YouTube channel, and you liked every video that I throw up on my YouTube channel, regardless of how many likes or how many views each video individually received. This YouTube channel went on to become one of the greatest YouTube channels of all time, and the most popular Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel in the world right now, with over 66,000 channel views, approaching 100,000 views for a milestone. That will be our latest accomplishment. Guys, thank you so much, because this YouTube channel just started out as a mere project, a really hit or miss for me, because I didn't know if this was going to be big or this was going to really shut me down for forever, because it was either go big or go home with this guy, because I hadn't been heard from or seen for over 7.5 years, and you guys were looking for a voice of Descendants and Zombies, because you guys weren't having a Descendants and Zombies podcast, you weren't seeing it on YouTube, and then somebody emailed me, some people showed up at my door every year on Halloween trying to persuade me to create a Descendants podcast. I threw in some Zombies conversation here or there, and it exploded overnight, because that literally is what happened for me. I was a guy who was just streaming video games out of his house, and then from out of nowhere, somebody shows up at my door and asks me to create a Descendants and Zombies podcast, because they must have known I've been in radio for years and on YouTube for what felt like forever, because I've been on YouTube. I've been here ever since many of you have been alive, and longer than many of you have been alive, really. And I took it under consideration. I thought about it for a long time, and I thought, you know, I've got this passion for Disney. I'll turn my content around and see what happens. I shut down the video games. I stopped playing video games, and I started talking about Descendants and Zombies, and a niche that I dearly loved ever since I was a child, because my fandom of being a Disney fan goes all the way back to the lateral part of the 1980s. So I've been there for virtually everything that Disney's had to do, being a fan of Disney, and my fandom goes through every generation of Disney. So being a part of this generation of Disney made perfect sense to me, because it was the most popular Disney franchise of all time. It had the most popular characters, and certainly some of the most revered of all time for their message and their beliefs, and how they were such inspirations to millions of people. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe the profound impact this franchise was having on people's hearts, and that would go on to have such a profound impact on my heart that I would be eternally and forever grateful to have the honor to sit in front of a podcast microphone and talk about Descendants and Zombies every day for the rest of my life and for the foreseeable future, because you guys allowed me to be your voice of Descendants and Zombies, because you guys are what it comes down to, and you guys are what matters. So as a YouTube creator, one of the greatest duties of all time, and one of the greatest honors you can show your audience, is by listening to them and giving them what they want. Because I could still be talking about video games. I buy video games every week. That's the reality of my life. When I'm not recording Descendants and Zombies videos, I'm out to the game store. I'm always at GameStop buying video games, and I could still be streaming the latest video games, but I don't want to do that. I could be talking about a movie that I saw that nobody's ever heard tell of, can't make sense of, or a TV show that I just finished watching the entire series of. But because I was a really big fan of Boy Meets World, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, The House of Mouse, the Aladdin animated TV series, the Little Mermaid animated TV series, The Vampire Diaries, The Twilight Saga, Tron, which I'm checking out later on this week, coming up on Friday. But I think that you guys are what matters. So as the host of a show, one of the greatest challenges for a YouTube creator is finding a niche, having that niche accept them for their voice and their opinions, and allowing them the honor of creating videos on whatever specific niche they provide commentaries for and they fall into. I fell into the niche of Descendants of Zombies because a girl used to show up my door every year on Halloween looking for Halloween treats, trying to persuade me to create a show about Descendants of Zombies. I have no idea how it happened, and then I got emails from people wanting me to check out Descendants of Zombies, and I took it under consideration, and a year and a half later, I'm still here as your voice of Descendants of Zombies into the foreseeable future, I'm hoping, because I really do believe there's a lot of conversation that can happen about the upcoming Descendants 5 because of the contributions of your favorite stars from the past, Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, whose friendship was beautifully put on display for this franchise. I think Kenny Ortega has a lot to be grateful for and a lot to be thankful for, because I remember when Kenny did an interview many years ago when they were promoting Descendants 2. And he was so excited about the premiere of Descendants 2 because he knew the music was going to be special. The music had gotten better. The story was that much deeper. The emotional connection between the cast members was off the charts. People were talking about Descendants to the heights of unprecedentedness for Disney. It was the highest rated franchise in the history of Disney at this point. And they had everything to be excited about going into it. And I remember Kenny Ortega being so grateful to be in your guys' presence. And I feel the same way as your voice of Descendants of Zombies. You know, guys, it's beyond me why Disney has not created the Descendants of Zombies podcast officially on Disney.com or D23.com, because you guys really do deserve something better. You deserve something to be excited about. You deserve something to be enthralled by, and I just wanted to give that to you guys because I felt as if Marvel.com can upload a podcast about Marvel characters every Wednesday to Marvel.com, so too can Disney.com or D23.com. They're always posting an article about Descendants, but where is your Descendants of Zombies podcast? Shout out to Disney. You've got to create one. Obviously, they left that responsibility up to yours truly, but in saying that, there is no greater honor that I could have bestowed upon my shoulders. I know it's a huge responsibility to create these videos for you guys, and as long as you guys are cool with it and you give me time, I will keep pumping out as many Descendants of Zombies videos as frequently as I can, because the way this YouTube channel works is it's 365. If you haven't already figured that out or noticed that, there is always a video uploaded about Descendants of Zombies, some aspect of the history on certain characters who I've loved for forever, because I've been a big fan of Kylie Control for what feels like my entire life. I watched her show Hello Kylie on YouTube for forever. I was one of the very first subscribers initially to that, and now it has over 500,000 subscribers, approaching 1 million, which is incredible for Kylie. Kylie is a celebrity through and through. Her resume definitely speaks for itself. Gabby during the Unsittables, Raven's Home, High School Musical, the series, and now Descendants, one of the most revered characters she's ever portrayed, and it shows with Kylie. And I think she drew a lot of inspiration from the Mal character portrayed by Dove Cameron, because Dove Cameron took a character that nobody had seen before, nobody knew anything about, and she exploded in popularity because of the biggest reason being she didn't care what anybody thought of her. And because she didn't care what anybody thought of her, along with all the other characters, this became the most revered franchise of all time, through its story, through its powerful music, which I think everybody instantly fell in love with. I think by Descendants 2, I will forever present the argument that by Descendants 2, the music got better, and better reviews were being posted on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.com, because I remember reading the initial reviews of Descendants, and while at least 90% of the people were excited about Descendants' premiere on July 31st, 2015, the same night Bunk premiered, and cast members like Cameron Boyce and Debbie Ryan and Peyton List were trying to introduce themselves to a new global audience because of the success of Jesse, and Jesse had finished up with Debbie Ryan pursuing other projects. Disney revamps this series on the same night Cameron Boyce had a TV series and a movie. It was huge for him. There were still people criticizing him, because there are these critics out there that have nothing better to do with their lives. And I have forever and always wanted to shut down the critics. I wanted to replace the criticism with good vibes and a positive outlook for the foreseeable future for your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars. Because forgive me, I see issues with people like Kylie Contrell not being able to get tears out of their eyes because of how people feel about them. And when they are performing at the highest level possible, I think that they don't deserve to be criticized. And I think somebody needs to do something about it. Somebody needs to really stand up and take bullets for you guys. And if I have to be that guy to take bullets for forever and always believing in these franchises like each and every one of you, because I know you do, and I know you have for at least the last decade, then that is the greatest honor of my life, and so be it. I will take on 15 million critics for each and every one of you, regardless if I have to do it by myself, and I have to do it alone. If I have to go in alone, I will stand up in front of these critics, and they can open up fire on me. For Zombies, for Descendants, whoever you're talking about, Freya Sky, who I think has a fabulous future with the Disney company, allow me to say that. She's the next Taylor Swift in the making. It's just going to take her a couple of years, because I really believe that a lot of people really haven't recognized the potential that exists with Freya, because she's a fabulous guitar player. She's fabulously dedicated to her music and her work ethic. And anybody who has work ethic, look, I've seen from Kylie and Malia, and I've seen from Freya in recent months, deserves better. And they deserve better in the way of reviews. While I can't secure the futures of them musically, I can secure the futures of them with a vibe that Descendants has been meant to have for a very long time. And I know sometimes I show up on YouTube and I post comical videos and I present a really crazy vibe kind of thing, but I think it's to get a point across. And it's to get a point across of how revered these franchises actually have become, because of contributions like Kylie Control and how dedicated she's been and forever remained to a franchise that she knows has put her in a position to really take over, to catapult her career to the heights of unprecedentedness, because tens of thousands of millions of people have gravitated towards a franchise unlike any franchise that I've ever seen before in my life. And this is coming from a guy who was the biggest Miley Cyrus supporter in the world, who was the biggest Hannah Montana fan ever to be seen, who was the biggest Wizards of Waverly Place fan, who was the biggest Phineas and Ferb fan. No matter what franchise or franchises you're talking about, I think that there's nothing that can really hold a candle to Descendants' profound success. The PR has been off the charts. The response for this thing has been absolutely incredible. And it's credited to each and every one of you. I said in the first podcast I uploaded this morning it didn't happen because of a board meeting that took place between 25 people in a board meeting behind a closed door, saying what can we create that will captivate millions of people, that will create millions of dollars of revenue, that will generate a lot of attention. It happened because of each and every one of you, for your passion for Disney music, for your passion for these stars that you remember seeing on different franchises for Disney Channel, Bunk, Jessie, what had you. Because you took a star like Cameron Boyce and you turned him into an explosion overnight. And he is more revered than he's ever been in his passing, because people have never forgotten about him, and they're still posting tributes about him. Just yesterday, I posted my latest Cameron Boyce tribute video. Thank you guys so much for your response for that, because he was one of those guys that I really found a lot of nice things to say about and chose to give the benefit of the doubt because of his work ethic and how he lit up not only his personality but also every personality he ever worked with. And that's not just on the set of Descendants. That's on the set of Jessie. That's on the set of Bunked. What's the reason why Jessie and Bunk got such high reviews and was so revered was because of him. And I think his contributions to Descendants will never ever be forgotten, and this point that Descendants has gotten to is exactly what he wanted to have happened for the Descendants franchise. It's not because they should shut it down because of Cameron Boyce. They should have never made Descendants The Rise of Red because of what happened to Cameron Boyce. I think this is precisely what he would have wanted. And I think that they are doing him justice, and he's justified forever and always because of how far Descendants has been taken. I mean, whoever thought Descendants would have a Worlds Collide tour happening merely just a year and a half after the explosion of The Rise of Red? The reason why The Rise of Red exploded was because of the popularity of the stars, the popularity of the music, how everybody's favorite song became songs such as Life is Sweeter When You Are. Reportedly, by the way, there's a remix of this one happening with Liamani Segura and Kylie Control lending their voices to the soundtrack and to the lyrics. I think it's going to be beautifully collaborated, but there's just been something forever and always about Ruby's voice that made me fall in love with that song. It was a bubblegum type song that instantly got stuck in all of our heads, mine included. I must have listened to that song over 1,000 times, if not 10,000 times. And I think that if there were 50,000 views put up for this music video on Vivo, at least 25,000 of those come from yours truly. Because I really do believe that this song had potential. It really exemplified how much further kindness can go in a person's life, how much it can change a person's life, and this new spin on the franchise deserved anything but criticism. So I tried to shut down the vibe of how this was a Harry Potter kind of musical, a Wicked kind of musical with a cast member of Wicked being a part of it. Of course, one of the creators of Wicked were a part of the Descendants franchise, and it did a fabulous job. It did it justice because it brought it to life in a way that I could never remember a Descendants movie being brought to life. When you talk about a story that got deeper and got better with time, it was the Descendants cast, because by Descendants 2, and especially by Descendants 3, there was more appreciation for other characters besides Mel. I think the first movie was to introduce us to Mel with a greater emphasis put on her character. I think about that scene out in the woods for the If Only music video. Hundreds of takes, hours were spent on the collaboration of this until Kenny Ortega got it perfectly collaborated, until he got what he wanted. They were out in the woods for pretty much hours shooting it all day. And then by the time the music video, by the time production had wrapped, it became one of the most revered scenes in Descendants history and everybody's favorite song to do a cover of. I have to put it out there. I've seen so many covers of the song If Only. It is really fabulous. There was this one girl on YouTube that actually dresses up like Mel with the color of the coat and everything. And the collaboration of the music video, it's got hundreds of thousands of views on Vivo. I forget what her name is. But it was so fabulously done. And some of you guys do really great jobs with your covers of these Descendants songs, which I really appreciate because I was a fan of the music. And this is coming from one of the biggest fans of Descendants music of all time. And I think that if you have enough courage to post a cover of yourself singing a Descendants song, I really do believe you should go for it, because you guys are so passionate about what you believe in and who you believe in and who you draw inspiration from. And if in fact that is Dove Cameron, if in fact that's Kylie Cantrell, go for it. I know a lot of you also post videos on TikTok yourself doing the dance numbers, what have you. It's really cool. Being a fan of Descendants of Zombies is really cool. That's why forever and always say there is nothing wrong with being a fan of Descendants of Zombies, because never enough conversation can be generated and spun off of what Descendants has already created. The moments that they've created for us as friends and family members are unbelievable. Families watch this together. This is a really family-friendly kind of vibe. And I think Disney has really recognized the potential that exists with Descendants, which is exactly what I wanted to have happen for it, because I didn't have a niche to commentate on. I was just a video game player. I played virtually every video game there was to play. And you guys really turned my life around because you gave me a second chance to be heard and be seen. Because 7.5 years ago, I thought my story had been told and completed as a DJ, as a radio show host, eventually transitioning back over to YouTube. And here we are. We're counting down to Halloween. I'm so excited about Descendants of Zombies having everything happening for the foreseeable future. And I'm just excited to provide you commentaries and analogies and breakdowns of this franchise to help you make sense of everything Descendants and Zombies. Because I feel as if people are just posting reaction videos, watching Descendants for the first time, but not making a whole lot of sense to each and every one of you who are the biggest fans of Descendants and Zombies, who know everything there is to know about Descendants of Zombies. So if you're sitting in front of a podcast microphone, at least engage with your audience. At least don't be so oblivious to what a daywalker and a vampire is. A vampire is a creature that exists in the nighttime. A daywalker is a vampire that exists in the daylight. We've known this concept ever since the Vampire Diaries premiered back in 2009. And that wasn't yesterday. I mean, how more oblivious can you be to such an obvious concept? It's just an underappreciation for the value and the worth of a franchise that's meant so much to all of our hearts. It's just their way of criticizing it, making fun of it. But then there's a guy like me on YouTube showing up every single time he gets an opportunity to create a commentary about Descendants of Zombies up to 4 times daily, because he really does love each and every one of you for how passionate you are about a franchise, and I see that. I think that if you're talking about someone like Kylie Cantrell, at least give her the benefit of the doubt for the foreseeable future and really run with the idea that she's going to be something special, because her dad believed in her, her mom believed in her growing up at a dance home. She had the support, but I think never enough support can be shown to somebody who's had a political point of view taken out of consideration, misinterpreted, who's had a relationship status completely criticized. Give her more of a chance. Give people like Kylie and Freya time and watch them explode. Give people like Malia time to explode, because they have been there for each other for every single moment. This friendship is one friendship that I can never get enough of, and I can never seem to say enough good things about. People take the most obvious things and turn them around to the most devious of rumors and misconcept what they actually are, and I just really want to put it out there for its true worth, which is something I really appreciate. I appreciate anybody who believes in Descendants of Zombies as much as what I have, or appreciates any franchise that I've ever been a fan of, Because I've been a fan of High School Musical. I've been a fan of Hannah Montana. I was the premiere of Hannah Montana and High School Musical on the same night. I'll never forget the date. It's been embedded in my mind. March 24th, 2006. And ever since then, High School Musicals went on to set records worldwide. They've been breaking records. They've been shattering records. And I think Descendants is well on its way to doing the exact same thing. While people can post so many negative reviews on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb.com for forever, I think more people can make a consistent effort to giving people like Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, Kylie Cantrell, Freya Sky praise, because that's exactly what they deserve. They would never have gotten to the position they are now, right now, because of each and every one of you. As I said here earlier, it didn't happen because of a board meeting. It happened because of each and every one of you believing in these stars, drawing inspiration from these stars, having conversations on the bus, on your way to school, on your way home from school, about Descendants of Zombies. What you're going to be for Halloween this year, you don't have to tell me. It's a Descendants character. Who, I don't know, but you're going to be a Descendants character for Halloween. And we're going to talk about Descendants of Zombies all throughout the countdown to Halloween this year. I've been thinking about carving a pumpkin for this setup, but I haven't actually confirmed that yet because I'm not the best pumpkin carver out there. But despite me not being the best pumpkin carver, that will not stop me from creating Descendants of Zombies videos. Hey, I've got reciprocal lights. I'll turn them the color of Halloween. I know that Meg Donnelly's favorite color is orange of the Zombies franchise, so maybe I can do something about that. Maybe I can have more Gaston-like breakfasts like I had this morning, eating over 17 strips of bacon, 15 dozen eggs, and a Pop-Tart, and then jumping on my podcast talking about Descendants of Zombies, because I think there's a certain magic and a certain procedure you have to present your Descendants of Zombies podcast with for the foreseeable future. There's a procedure that goes with this, and what it has everything to do with is being able to touch the hearts of whoever watches a Descendants of Zombies video while honoring their favorite characters, their favorite moments, their favorite songs, because I know everybody out there has a favorite Descendants of Zombies song. I've attempted to rank them, but I haven't actually gotten through with ranking them yet because there are so many songs that I loved. I think virtually every song on the soundtrack I've loved, from Life is Sweeter When You Are to all the way back to If Only in 2015. I believe that was when that premiered. That wood scene was one that I will never ever forget because Dove Cameron put so much passion behind this really introductory ballad to who her character was and what she was going to go on to represent for many years to come for the foreseeable future. And man, has she ever, because she is very different. She's more outspoken than ever before, so too is Sophia Carson. But one thing I've noticed is that Sophia Carson is the one that never shies away from Descendants questions. She always celebrates the Descendants anniversaries, significant moments in history, which I can never seem to give her enough profound credit for. I wish more Descendants characters felt the same way that she did about how much the franchise meant to her, because that was her first major breakout role. Just as the first major breakout role for Freya Sky happened in the form of Nova in the Zombies franchise, and she's been making the most of every opportunity since, because now more people know who she is than ever before. 15 years old, still has a long way to go, which is why I think the best we can do for her right now is show her the praise and the dedication to her character and every project she has going on for the better, because it will benefit her. More great reviews will be posted on websites having to do with entertainment reviews, because I'm tired of hearing the criticism. I've wanted to do something about it for forever, and hopefully this YouTube channel will get it done. But again, I can't do it without your guys' help. So if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to do that, because I really do have a lot to say where Descendants of Zombies goes. I will have another podcast uploaded sometime this afternoon. My third podcast is coming out, and I hope you will join me for it, because I do have a lot to say where Descendants of Zombies goes into the foreseeable future. I really do believe that never enough praise can be shown to your favorite Descendants of Zombies stars. That's why we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of Descendants. It's because of each and every one of you. And because of each and every one of you, I think you've deserved far better reviews of Descendants of Zombies into the foreseeable future. And I just wanted to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies for however long you guys will allow me to be your voice of Descendants of Zombies, helping you make sense of everything Descendants of Zombies into that foreseeable future, because I really do believe that Descendants of Zombies fans are the strongest fans in the world. They are incredibly supportive fans, and I really do believe that because you're incredibly supportive Descendants of Zombies fans, you've deserved far better for a very long time. So, while people's opinions of Descendants of Zombies may vary into the foreseeable future, we've got Descendants 5, Wicked Wonderland, Zombies 5 happening with a date yet to be announced. I know it may not happen for another 5 years, but even if that means I have to upload Descendants of Zombies videos every day for the rest of my life for the next 5 years, at least up until then, I have no issues with doing that, because you guys have deserved better for a very long time, and it's about time somebody gave that to you as the host of this podcast, and I have never felt more honored to be in your guys' presence talking everything Descendants and Zombies. So we will do it all over again in just a few hours from now. Be sure to join me for that. If you have not subscribed or rang my bell to stay updated with notifications, you're probably going to want to do that. It's really hard to believe that 25 minutes has already passed, and I've uploaded already 2 podcasts this morning about Descendants and Zombies. It's just after 10:53 a.m. this morning. As we count you down to Halloween, just over 3 weeks to go, I will be here every single day, 365, talking about Descendants and Zombies. Birthdays of Ruby Rose Turner and Freya Sky have yet to be celebrated on October 16th through 17th, and I hope you will join me for those. Until then, I've got a lot to talk about which relates to Descendants and Zombies, and we will get to that in just a few hours from now. Stay calm and zombie on, guys, into the foreseeable future.